Hello there and welcome to the Superconsole podcast. I'm your host, Katie Ellis, and here with me is the lovely Ryan Alfred Page.
Hello.
And this is our first ever episode, our pilot episode, if you like. We're basically going to talk to you a bit about games and other things. So, Ryan, what have you been playing recently?
So recently I have been playing, I've been trying to play a lot of PUBG, and I actually managed to get my first chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner?
Chicken
you were
dinner.
the winner?
I was a winner. It was probably the most adrenaline-filled 5 minutes of my entire life. I was shaking profusely as I cornered one person on a hill, and I've just never felt such a rush in my life.
It was like euphoria. I would think I was playing Persona 5, as I often am these days, and Ryan ran in and just was like screaming, I won! Like,
I
freaking
danced
out.
for a good 20 minutes.
And I love how, so normally Ryan plays PUBG with his one of his best friends. So normally they're playing together and they're shouting down the microphone together. But Ryan was actually playing solo that night. So he had no one else to, describe his glory with apart from me. And I don't really care about PUBG that much. Not for lack of trying.
It's just because you're crap at shooters.
I just don't like shooters at all. They're not for me.
You can't even play Overwatch.
What?
You like Overwatch as a concept, but you just can't play it.
I like the nice.
You like Diva, the shooty shoots.
I like May and I like Mercy.
Just a little scrubbling.
I'm just not very good. Like when I'm playing Mercy, everyone just moans that I'm not healing them enough. If I'm playing May, people just moan that I'm not killing enough. Like I feel like I can't win. I feel like I'm not useful enough.
I feel like you'd appreciate the new patch notes in Overwatch where they've buffed Mercy, and she's an absolute beast now. She destroys everyone. It's fantastic. With her ult, she now, instead of like reses people, she flies and she like buffs everyone.
Oh, nice.
And like you can just shoot everyone. It's fantastic.
I mean, maybe I'll try again. Maybe next week I'll come back and I'll be like, Overwatch.
Mercy is beast.
She's the one. But for now, I'm sticking to Persona 5. It's the most glorious of glorious games. It's everything I love in a video game and more. Oh, I just love it. I just love the palaces. I love the art style. I love the bond between all the characters. It's like the most immersion there is in video games for me. I love RPGs, but I've also been trying to play a bit of Final Fantasy online recently. Is it Final Fantasy 14?
Final Fantasy 14, yeah.
Which I really liked, and it was something I was trying to play with Ryan, but I feel like you weren't as into it.
I can't get into the story at all, and I feel like that's meant to be the most redeeming factor about it. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I really like it. It's got a really like interesting main story and all that." It's just like, I just really can't get into it. There's MMOs out there that I find more intriguing gameplay wise, like Desert Online, for example, where it actually has like decent, like pretty much full action combat and a lot of like interesting mechanics and things like that. But then the story isn't great.
Do you know what it doesn't have though? It doesn't have the Chocobo theme song, and that for me,
the soundtrack's still pretty decent, but not Chocobo decent.
It's so good.
It's not Chocobo
when you
out of 10.
first unlock your Chocobo, oh my god, that music starts playing. You loved it. Come on,
it was pretty great.
It was a good moment. So and also tonight we have also been playing a game which released today, not FIFA 18.
Oh,
we haven't been playing
FIFA 18. Incredible.
10 out of 10 for balls.
Always different every year.
Great, Ronaldo.
Always reinventing itself.
Okay, not enough shaming. But it was the other game that came out today, which is Cuphead. An absolutely gorgeous indie game. How would you describe Cuphead?
It's like someone brought Disney to life and then injected Dark Souls and death into it.
But old school Disney, not new school Disney.
Old school Disney, of course. It's not like Frozen.
No, more like
flying across the screen.
Like Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie!
You were waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting to say that. So yeah, we've been playing Cuphead, and I guess...
We've been dying in Cuphead.
We've been dying a lot, but which is a kind of interesting concept, because one of the biggest, I guess, things to come out of the news recently when Cuphead was being shown more and more at live shows, because it's been around for ages in development, and a lot of the recent previews was saying how hard it is, and I think that was putting off a lot of people.
I think the one thing that I kept on seeing on social media and stuff was a video of, I think it was a reviewer failing the tutorial, like over and over again.
Oh god.
You know the bit where you have to try and essentially jump dash over a large block?
Yeah.
They just couldn't understand that concept.
Right. I mean, we've been playing it, and I'm not saying we're good, because we're not.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. It is hard, but it's not impossible. I don't think it's punishing. I think it's fair.
I think for me, the gameplay could be absolutely terrible and I'd still love it just because of the art style.
It's so beautiful. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend just watching, going on the Steam page, check out some trailers. Wait, I mean, how much was it? 15 quid?
It's 15 quid, yeah.
It's
really reasonable.
Which is insane. Like, I would pay more than that, definitely.
No, I would.
Even if I couldn't get past the first level, I think it'd be worth it. It's so beautiful. But whereas I think, I mean, I've recently been playing Crash Bandicoot, the HD remake, or whatever you want to call it, on PS4, and I found that punishing. That was unfair, because the hitbox was all wrong, the jumps were totally different, and it wasn't enjoyable to play. I didn't feel like I was like understanding the rhythm. I didn't feel like it was one of the things that, you know, okay, maybe I'm just not quite getting the timing, but I'll do it better next time. Like with Cuphead, we were definitely learning the best time to jump, or we were learning the things that were killing us and doing it better next time. Whereas Crash Bandicoot just messes you up for no reason.
It really does have that whole Dark Souls element to it, where you do just die a lot, but each time you learn a tiny bit of information, and it's just that constant kind of like development in terms of you understanding the game a little bit more, as well as like the general idea of the gameplay.
I've never played Dark Souls, so in comparison, how does Dark Souls difficulty kind of fare?
I think Dark Souls slaps you in the face the first time you play it, just because of how the first kind of pseudo boss works, where like you're not even meant to beat it. Like it's meant to be this is Dark Souls, we're going to kill you over and over again kind of thing.
Right.
It's like not meant to be something that you're meant to beat. It's just like, oh, here's a boss like that's absolutely destroying me. What am I meant to do?
Are you meant to just run away? What?
You just meant to run away.
Right.
That's it. That's what you're meant to do.
I think there's a few games that do that though. It's quite interesting in a way. Like they immediately teach you like that's not the thing to do.
It sets you up like the whole like mindset of how you're meant to play the game.
Like maybe you shouldn't fight everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best to run.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a motto for life, actually. Sometimes
We're
Ryan,
gonna get real deep here.
It's just good to run away and hide.
I never run away. Gambate. You can do it.
That was beautiful. Okay, so what is the hardest game you've ever played?
I mean, probably be Dark Souls, but I can't think of like that many other games that have really hit me in the face as hard as Dark Souls. I've been playing Sonic Mania recently, and that's been like kind of difficult. Probably StarCraft. No, like it is probably StarCraft. Like, but it has that weird thing where you can play it at a really low level, but if you actually want to win games like at a reasonable like win rate, it's hard. It gets real hard, and if you want to keep going, it gets harder and harder.
But does it make you want to rage quit? Like, is it that kind of?
No, it's like, as a comparison, if I was playing a team game and in a competitive environment like StarCraft, and we lost, I always get angry because I have teammates to blame. StarCraft, I've always just had like just myself to blame. I know I've messed up, but then I can learn from it as well, and like have that sense of development.
But it doesn't sound like a game which is unfairly hard. Like,
I mean, the matchmaking can be a bit of crap sometimes, to be honest.
What, when you put against harder, like tougher players? Yeah,
pretty much. Where like it feels like they're just so many levels above you, and that there's just not a chance in how you're going to win.
I mean, that's how I feel when I play any game of Overwatch. I literally, I could be higher than the lowest level on there, and I would still think, ooh, this isn't going to go well in general. You leave me to the wolves.
Yeah, but you've got to learn somehow. I've got to chuck them in the deep end.
You do not carry me.
Sink or swim.
You throw me overboard. You don't carry me.
Exactly, sink or swim.
So I was kind of thinking about, you know, level design as well when I was thinking about Cuphead and difficulty. And I think a lot of it comes down to as well, like, what's the difference between a game which is punishingly hard, like Dark Souls, and then something that's just, like, badly designed? Like
Crash Bandicoot.
Exactly. Like,
Hitboxes.
when does it get to a point where you think this actually isn't fun because it's not meant to be this hard? I don't know. Maybe Crash Bandicoot the remake was meant to be that hard. I don't know. I played Crash Bandicoot when I was in primary school. I am definitely a better gamer now than I was then.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a reason, why I'm finding it so much harder. I'm getting stuck on levels that I literally glazed through before. So it must be a point where it's the game design which is causing that.
I mean, there's a couple of moments that in Dark Souls where it does just feel like there's some problems going on in like the whole like background of it, which make it unnecessarily harder than it needs to be. Just where hitboxes might mess up slightly, and you'll get hit by something like that where it clear like the actual model of whatever it is that's meant to be hitting you doesn't even really clip you. It just kind of like goes past you, but it's like, oh no, that's hit you anyway. And it's just like really frustrating just to see that happen. It's just like, I shouldn't have really got hit there.
That sounds like those damn turtles on Slippery Road. That literally is it, or whatever they are.
But that's what like one of the big things that I find really frustrating with like these pseudo hard games. Where people say, oh, it's just, you're not good enough. But, like, it's the game making it harder than it really needs to be.
So, the kind of funny thing in all this is Ryan's motto for me all the time when I'm playing games and I'm playing a boss battle and I die. He'll come in and just goes, get good, scrub, and then leaves. And yet, here you are saying that sometimes it's not about just being good.
Yeah, but, like, I've played games before where there's, like, something, like, really stupid, like a tiny little bit of input delay that is like really crucial in order to play at like a decent level, like Mortal Kombat on release where it had like really really crap net play. That
MK10?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Is that the most recent one on Steam?
I've lost count.
Most recent one on Steam is, but there was like a ton of just like net play, net code kind of problems on launch that made it just kind of like that much more unplayable, just because I would press the roll or whatever, or like fight, and nothing would happen for about a good like half a second, and it just throws you off completely.
So talking about awful things in general. So earlier, Ryan asked me when we were just having a nice walk down the road, you mentioned the Jumanji movie. Which is still linked to video games because it turns out that apparently, according to the trailer, no one plays board games anymore, which is definitely not true if you looked at
It's the absolute reverse these days. Everyone's getting into board games.
Board games are big now.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah. All the cool kids are playing board games.
I mean, our Catan on our shelf would be crying if it had that. I mean, it's also crying because it hasn't been touched in a while, so...
Yeah, because we don't have any friends.
We need more players to play our board games. But Jumanji, oh my god. So now, instead of being sucked into a board game, they're sucked into a video game, well, a retro console anyway.
That bit with the video game, it shouldn't really offend me, but it's like, because I'm so attached to the original concept of the movie, I find that so upsetting.
Oh my god, how much were you terrified? Or was it just me? The scene where, I'm going to forget his name now, but the original kid in the original movie, he goes around this girl's house and their bats come out of the clock or something.
No, it comes out like the chimney or something, doesn't it?
I don't know, bats come out of somewhere. Whoa now. Bats come out and then he gets sucked in, but his fingers go first. Do you remember?
This is getting dirty.
You are disgusting. So his fingers get kind of transferred into the game first.
Yeah.
That moment.
Oh, right, where it, like the really bad effects and like they just kind of like stretch and warp inwards.
Jumanji terrified me when I was little. It was that drum sound.
No, I think some of the worst scenes for me was when Robin Williams gets like sucked into the floor and there's those giant ass spiders.
Yes.
And like it's just terrifying.
That's horrible. But it's just his face coming out, isn't it?
Yeah, just coming out the floor. Just coming out the floor.
Ryan just did an impression then of his face, which you wouldn't have seen, but it was brilliant. It was beautiful. What else was scary? Everything in that movie. When that kid turns into a monkey.
Yeah.
When the lion's tail just goes over the piano keys upstairs.
I think the real tragedy is that we're not going to have the same Hunter guy as the first movie, because that really made it for me. That's what
he was wonderful.
He was great.
I mean, he was awful, but he was wonderful.
No, but he was so good at the same time.
Okay. So, like, completely off topic, but kind of on topic. Do you remember, or am I making this up, biscuits that you used to be able to get?
Right.
Cookies, for you Americans, of, like, Jumanji biscuits.
Were they like shaped like monkeys or something?
Like animals?
Yeah, animals. And
And
they're
it was
covered
in
in
like
chocolate, like
I
one
think
side.
so.
I think one side.
Yeah, and you could get them in like a rectangular box,
Yes.
and they had Jumanji branding on.
Yes.
So those are real, so I didn't
Those
make
are
them
real.
up.
No, I think they're real.
Because I dream of them a lot.
You dream of them.
I really, really liked them when I was little, and I think they must have been like a timed exclusive thing for the movie, but I want them back. Maybe this movie will bring them back, please. They were so
Yeah,
good.
but they're gonna have like some weird variation on it because of like it's no longer like board games, it's a console. So now it's gonna be, I don't know, fidget spinners. Jumanji fidget spinners.
Is that what these cool kids do these
Yeah.
days? Not have biscuits? Oh my god. So the new Jumanji movie, I would recommend you watch the trailer, even if you just want to have a laugh. It's shocking for so many reasons. And I mean, the video game bit shouldn't offend me, but like you say, I think it does.
But I think that's just because of nostalgia.
Maybe. I don't see the reason or the need to like be like, no, we don't.
Because
No.
they feel like kids aren't going to relate to it anymore.
It's stupid. Of course they would.
Because kids don't play board games anymore, and that's the core market, the millennials. They're all off playing video games and dabbing. That's what they're up to.
So the dabbing kids then turn into
Yeah.
you know,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
and Jack Black. And Karen, is it Gillan? Is that her name?
Karen Gillan, yes. Or Gillian?
I don't know how to
Gillian
pronounce her
or
name.
Gillan?
I'm not sure. But whatever.
Gillian.
Karen, K-Dog.
K-Dog.
But while the others, and there's another actor who I've forgotten the name of, but while the others have like normal, safari kind of outfits going on, jungle suited outfits, old K-Dog is wearing a crop top and shorts.
We know what they're going for there.
Like, what? It's just
Young male
stupid.
audience.
It's ridiculous. Like, she is beautiful anyway. There is no need for her to get her midriff out. And I mean, I'm not a Victorian, sensitivities going on here,
I
but
don't know, isn't The Rock topless in it?
no.
I swear he gets his peckers out.
You just want him to get his peckers out. I didn't see his peckers at any point. I'm pretty sure that means something else.
Oh, no, it does. That means the lower regions, doesn't it?
Nether.
His chessboard. Let's go for that. He doesn't get his chessboard out.
I thought board games weren't relevant anymore.
It is when it comes to The Rock.
His joysticks.
His
That's
rock-
worse. It's worse. It's getting worse.
His rock hard chessboard.
Oh, Lord. Whatever he's
His
getting
pieces
out.
of 8.
I didn't see it. Whatever it was. His pieces of 8. Wow. But I was just I just thought it was unnecessary. It's a kids' movie, isn't it? Why do they have to sexualise poor K-Dog? One moment she was the doctor's assistant. Next minute she's getting her tummy out in a jungle. What's going on there?
It's hot.
It probably is, but she's going to be covered in mosquito bites by the end of it. I tell you that. Look forward to that scene in the movie. I do. Will you go see it anyway?
I want to see it because it's going to be absolutely terrible.
And it's got Jack Black in, who I do love. I love him. I do. Tenacious D, come on.
Yeah, but I feel like... Alright, I'm going to say something controversial right now.
Okay, I'm ready.
I feel like Tenacious D and School of Rock were actually really bad, weren't they?
What?
They were really bad, but we still enjoyed them. They
Do you
were
mean
trash.
like the Pick of Destiny, as in the Tenacious D movie?
Right, I'm gonna make a comparison. It's like, when you eat like an entire bag of something that's really bad for you, but it's still really good.
Like what?
Like a massive bag of Doritos.
Okay, what type of Doritos?
I don't think that's relevant.
I think it is.
Chili Heatwave.
Okay, yeah, I'm with
Right.
you.
Okay. And you eat those, and you just like they taste so good, but you feel like crap afterwards because you've just eaten an entire bag of huge bag of Doritos in about 5 minutes.
You're saying you feel crap after watching The School of Rock, because I do not. I feel euphoric.
Guilty because it's
No.
it's like trash food of like movies,
It's so good. It's
so
good.
bad for you.
I love it. I love The School of Rock. I'm gonna say it. It's one of my favourite movies.
Oh my god, I've just thought of a great thing.
What?
The Jumanji's like the School of Rock. Because it had Dwayne The Rock Johnson
Stop
in it. Oh my god.
Stop it. Right, no more of that. We're moving on. On. So I thought it'd be quite fun to have a look through what's going on in the video games industry news this week and pick out some questions for you. See if you've been keeping abreast of news. Have you been keeping abreast of news?
I have not at all, really, apart from Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, did you watch the trailer? What did you think?
I watched it in the office with no audio, so I can't really say too much. I didn't get really like the whole like atmosphere behind it. Because there's also like a load of other people around. I felt like I shouldn't have been looking at it, even though I work at a video game office.
That's ridiculous. Of course you
I
can.
know, but like I always get like guilt, you know?
I think I've got a license to look at video game stuff in the office because it's like I am just known as the nerd in the office, so it's kind of like accepted, and I'm excited to play it. When does it come out?
Spring 2018.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
Infomercial time.
Totally not sponsored by Rockstar.
Please call us. Please call us. Okay, so my first question to you. So which game trailer this week featured animated testicles?
I have no idea what kind of game would be coming out within the next year or so that would feature
animated testicles.
Animated testicles.
And when I'm saying animated, just to give you a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about, swinging.
Stardew Valley.
Pixel. Pixel swinging. No.
Okay.
You've actually just been talking about it.
Cuphead.
No. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
So in the first, I'd say 10 seconds of the trailer, you see a horse and...
Do you?
You see a horse kind of striding into shots.
Yeah.
And if you look at the horse, I mean, I'm not saying that I zoomed in closely, it's just been widely reported this week in the news. The horse has his ding-dongs swaying about. Like they've animated his testicles.
Realistic, right?
Like,
We're going for the whole realism.
I mean, first it was Mario's nipples. Now we've got, you know...
I can't wait for Nintendo to one-up Rockstar with this.
Like animated Mario chest hair. Oh, he didn't have any chest hair though, did he?
No.
It was smooth. Smooth as a baby's bottom. Okay, so this is your second question.
Yeah.
So we've had the NES Mini and we've had the SNES Mini. It's just come out now. I think people were literally receiving them this week. But what mini new retro games console has just been announced? Following on from this.
I have not a clue.
No idea? So it's
No
retro.
idea. Retro.
80s.
80s. Xbox.
It's not that old. It's definitely not that old.
I have no clue.
So we had this week was the announcement of the C64 Mini, so the Commodore 64 Mini. And to read it out to you, it comes with a joystick and 64 licensed games, including California games, Speedball 2, and other Commodore games that I have actually never heard of or played. Have you played any Commodore games?
No.
No. Well, if you wanted to play some Commodore games, it comes out early next year, and it costs £69.99.
I feel like the market's going to be kind of like weird for the Commodore 64 thing.
I don't know who's like, other than, I guess, people who originally played it, like, I can't imagine any kids wanting to go back and play C64 games. Like,
It's
I
quite
have
weird.
no intention of buying that.
No.
Especially not $64.99. I know it comes with, sorry, $69.99. I know it comes with 64 games, but I don't think that's one for me. No.
I don't feel the same level of hype for the C64 Mini over SNES Mini, etc.
Although I'm not fussed about that. To be fair, we have a SNES though.
Yeah.
That's probably why we don't want to buy a SNES Mini. We literally have those games. But I can see that, you know, the interest in that far more.
Yeah.
So, third question and final question is that some say that, you know, Tokyo Game Show is becoming increasingly irrelevant, you know, with the likes of E3.
Was it ever relevant?
I think it definitely was
No, it's
relevant. It
never
used to have some
relevant.
pretty cool big announcements back in the day.
Name one.
Level 5 used to always announce their games at TGS. Always.
Totally irrelevant studio.
I love Level 5. Come on.
And you're their only fan.
That is not true.
Their entire crowd was just you.
No.
You were holding up your little board saying, I love you. You were crying and you were like...
We were literally talking about in a Zoomer 11 like moments ago before we went live.
You are their entire user base and market.
Anyway, can you name one game that was announced at TGS last week?
No, because it's irrelevant.
Not a single game.
Not a single game.
There was one quite big one that was announced in the news. Got some good coverage by Square Enix. New franchise, no?
Final Fantasy 25.
I mean, we've just had 15, so that's a big jump, but you never know.
Yeah, but you know what the Final Fantasy numbering system's like. We go from 25 back to 16 to 40.
So actually there was two quite cool announcements, I thought. So the first one, well, the Square Enix title, was a game called Left Alive. So it's like a new action survival shootery.
I have not
game.
heard of this at all. No.
I mean, it was only a teaser trailer, so it wasn't like a proper gameplay trailer or anything like that. It was, I don't think it was in-game shot at all. It looked quite cool.
So you say a survival game?
Yeah.
It's very like out there for a Japanese company.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
But anyway, it actually has a quite cool, like, star-studded developer lineup. So it's got artwork from Yoji Shinakawa, who's the art director from Metal Gear Solid series, and it's got XEX's, so it's Xenoblade Chronicles X for the uninitiated. Mech designer is Takayuki Yanase. So it's got quite a cool lineup of devs working on it, in my opinion anyway, and it's coming out on PC, and PS4. But PC is more relevant to you.
I mean, we've already got enough survival games as it is.
Ugh.
They're just coming out of every nook and cranny at the moment. It's getting kind of boring.
Watch the teaser, see what you think.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting take on the genre.
I think so. So the other game, do you remember Dragon's Crown?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember what it is?
No.
So it came out on Vita and PS3, and it was kind of like 2.5D side-scrolling beat 'em up.
With the really raunchy kind of like big men and women, right?
Has some busty and beefy women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was quite
the big boys.
Notorious for its depiction of women, because although they were quite
and
busty,
men.
yeah, and men. But the thing with the women was, it wasn't just the fact they had big boobs, but they also had like beefy thighs.
They were like Amazonians, weren't they? They were
Yeah.
like meant to be Amazonian women.
Which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, if you're gonna have
like hyper muscular women.
Yeah, then go for it. I felt quite cool about that. So they have just announced Dragon's Crown Pro, so a HD remaster, and it's coming out on obviously the PS4 Pro. So what do you think about that? Would you play it?
I didn't play the original. What did you say it was coming out for?
PS4 Pro.
PS4 Pro.
I mean,
no.
it would be playable on PS4, but it'll be 4K in Pro.
I mean, I don't ever really play anything on your PS4 apart from me trying to catch up on Sweet Destiny, and that's it.
Oh, hold on. And you bought Bloodborne on my PS4.
That is true.
You still need to play that.
The only two games that mattered.
So I guess at this point we would love to do a few questions at the end of the podcast from you guys, our lovely listeners. But as it's our pilot episode, numero uno, I've actually made up questions because obviously there are no lovely listeners. So I'm trying to have one that's super relevant because I'm actually flying to Canada next week. So my question to you, dear Ryan, is if you were, say, on a 8-hour flight, say around that, to Canada perhaps, what game would you be playing?
Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing for 8 hours.
8 hours straight.
8 hours straight of Animal Crossing. I'm going to get all the bells. I'm going to pay off all of the loans, and I'm going to get all the portraits of my lovely villagers. That's it. That's all I'm playing for 8 hours.
Really? You just want it on Switch?
I want it so bad on Switch.
But what about a game you're kind of playing now? What would you play? For recent?
Yeah, I'm just playing like PUBG and stuff at the moment, so it's like it's kind of hard. But I suppose I'd mix it up a little bit. I'd be like Sonic Mania, Animal Crossing, maybe a little bit of Zelda. Try and pack that in there.
I was thinking Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll complete it.
But then
finally.
I'm like whenever I'm traveling at the moment, I just try and download as many Netflix things as I can. Just watch that. I'm binging Full Metal Alchemist on the way to work at the moment.
Fair. Maybe I'll do some Netflix downloading or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've also got I think I've got Yokai Watch 2 still sealed, ready and waiting. So I think I might be
You have a few games still sealed and ready and waiting.
It's because I'm too busy playing Persona. It's so good.
You need to finish it and get on with your life.
It says literally in the bottom right corner, it says take your time. So do you know what I'm doing? I'm taking my damn time. I'm enjoying everything there is to offer.
You don't always read the instructions on stuff. You know, you just have to get on with it. Who reads instructions? And so my question to you was, your life has now been engulfed by a video game, okay?
Right, okay.
So effectively, I'm going to lay down the rules.
Tell me.
Okay, I'm going to lay down the rules. Your life is now like literally a video game world.
Mm-hmm.
Which game world would it be? Bearing in mind, pretty much everyone in your life would be replaced by kind of their equivalent characters from that game, right? Okay, and there has to be villains. So villains in real life. I'm not going to actually name anyone here because it could get really controversial, but they're all like actual video game villains.
Boss characters.
Yeah, like
okay.
That kind of thing.
I mean, I wouldn't pick anywhere scary. So it's not going to be anything with big scary monsters in it because I don't want to be scared. So it's going to be something a bit cutesy. Maybe like Captain Toad.
Yeah?
Because
your life is a puzzle. You're just trying to figure it out day by day.
I mean, that's pretty true.
That's good.
That's good. I mean, yeah, maybe Captain Toad. What an underappreciated game. And also, the way he says time for adventure. Time for adventure! You got it.
Oh my god.
You know, that could be me every day having time for adventure. You know, and everything's quite cutesy. Even the enemies are quite, you know, little fishies. Quite cute.
Yeah.
I think that'd be quite nice. You could be my little toad friend. Toadette.
Thank you. Toadette?
Yeah.
Why am I female?
Because I'm Toad. I'm the main character. It's my world.
The gender bend.
Massive gender bend time. You could be Toadette.
Fantastic.
Yeah? Is that even a character? Have I made that up?
Don't know, but it is now. It's canon.
Canon. So canon.
Don't know what I'd go with.
No?
I'd want to say something like really chilled out, like Stardew Valley, but that'd be like super boring because I'd essentially just be a farmer.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd like to say something really exciting. I can't even think of anything though.
You would want to be in like a love sim. That's what you'd want to be in.
If like I didn't have to think about physical pain, it'd be cool to do something like PUBG, right?
No, it wouldn't.
It would be cool.
Infinite war ground, like.
If we just kept on like eternally just like respawning, jumping out of this airplane, and like trying like the eternal fight to get the chicken dinner, and then like that's it, you've won and you leave. That'd be pretty cool.
I've got a question about this chicken dinner.
Okay.
Is there actual chickens in PUBG?
No, there isn't, but there should be. There really should be.
I'm glad there aren't because they'd just be abused like they are in every other game. And in life.
Name one game where they're abused.
Fable.
Do you abuse
Your first name is Chicken Chaser.
Okay, but do you abuse the chickens? You can abuse the chickens, but you don't have to.
I'm pretty sure like you see NPCs like kicking the chickens.
I don't remember that.
Okay, Zelda.
Do you have? Oh no, wait, you do have to in one quest.
You throw them about and you like abuse their rights by gliding with them.
But maybe they like gliding.
Well, they obviously don't. They're like squawking uncontrollably.
Out of pure fun.
Out of joy. Because that's what our chickens do when you try and fly with them, isn't it?
I'm just trying to get to the shops really quickly.
There must be more other chicken games out there.
They never have.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure they're a critter.
CS:GO, there's chickens.
Oh, she mentioned it. Yes, there are chickens.
And what do you do in CS:GO?
You can shoot them for points in deathmatch.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. That needs to be banned.
Because we just see it as like a farmyard animal, don't we? They're not a generally domesticated animal.
Except in our household.
Except in our household.
We've got 3 beautiful clucking children.
Those little cluckers.
Oh my god. So...
They're so cluck and cute.
I was doing the washing up earlier Ryan was at work, and one of our chickens, Seabright, who's our 10-year-old little bantam, decided to not only come in the house,
Oh, cluck.
but she sat in your shoe
What a clucker.
and then pooed in it.
What shoe? What shoe?
I can't tell you. I can't disclose that information.
Are you kidding me?
I cleaned it.
Were you ever going to tell me outside of this podcast?
I didn't know. I didn't think I would tell you, but I have. It's happened now. It's fine. It's fine.
Is it fine though?
Yeah, we'll wash it. It'll be fine.
You haven't watched it yet?
No, you haven't.
Oh
You
my
haven't worn them
god.
yet.
Yeah, but I could have put those on. You could have been out of the room and I could have put that shoe on.
It's clean. You know what her poos are like.
It's not clean though.
They're fine.
If I took a poo in your shoe, I would tell you. Or if I saw someone taking a poo in your shoe, I would tell you. It wouldn't be clean. It's not okay.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
I'm so offended.
Do you remember that IT Crowd episode where they're like, you wouldn't take a policeman's hat, poo in it, and then give it back to him? This is what it's like.
You wouldn't let your own chicken poop in my shoe and then not tell me about it.
I didn't realise what she'd done until it was too late.
You still realised, and now it's done, and you haven't cleaned it.
I have cleaned it. I just haven't washed them.
Okay.
It's fine. You haven't touched them. It's okay. So on the note of poo in shoe,
Poo in shoe.
I think we're gonna go wash those now and crack on with that. So
What would have happened if you didn't mention it on this podcast? Would you have forgotten about it?
no, of course not. I would have always remembered.
Would you have remembered though?
Yeah, definitely.
You're terrible.
So before our relationship breaks down, thank you all very much for listening and tuning in. You can hopefully check this podcast out on YouTube, SoundCloud, and
Definitely not Spotify though. Way.
definitely not Spotify. We are not getting licensed for that.
Unfortunately.
So thank you. And if you want to email in any questions to the show, please email them in at superconsolegaming@gmail.com. So that's superconsolegaming@gmail.com. Or you can just comment on our YouTube video, drop a comment down below.
Can they go on Twitter?
I mean, if you want to, you can probably go on Twitter. If you email, make sure to tweet. That's what she said when she pooed in your shoe.
Thanks.
You can probably put, when you email, Superconsole Podcast in the email subject header, just to make sure I know what it is and it doesn't go into my spam. And we'll hopefully read out as many as possible on the next podcast.
Got a hashtag? We're going to hashtag it?
Hashtag poo in shoe.
Fantastic. There we go. That is going to be the hashtag for the entire podcast series, poo in shoe.
I like it.
Hashtag poo in shoe.
So it's goodbye from me and...
Goodbye from me.
and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.